2 years ago, if you would have asked me, would I buy this Tamron 150-600mm G2 lens? I would have said no. But if you ask me that same question today, I'd say yes. Find out why next. Hi guys, and welcome back to part 2 of the Tamron 150mm to 600mm G2 lens review. Now before I get started, I just want to reiterate something. Tamron Australia were very kind to send me out this lens to test out and review over a 2-week period. In no way are Tamron Australia paying me any money to do this review, and any sort of opinion I have on the lens, good or bad, are mine alone. Okay, so for 2 weeks I had this lens and I literally used it every day, photographing everything from birds to Australian wildlife, and I even tried a little bit of landscape photography with it. In short, I'm seriously impressed, and especially for the price that you can pay to get this lens. The lens performed really well when I teamed it up with my F-mount Nikon D850, and now I'd like to share with you some of the images that I was able to get with it. From ibis birds feasting on blue soldier crabs, tiny blue fairy wrens darting through the long grass, to swallows sitting on a rock. The Tamron 150-600mm G2 lens gave me crisp, clear, sharp results in both stills and video. Now in last week's video, I neglected to mention something. The lens also comes with a flexi lock, and this comes in very handy if you want to lock in a certain focal length while you're taking shots. You just simply pull that out and it's locked. So now you really can't move the lens anywhere. You can just go out to say 200mm and lock. Now that comes in very handy. I didn't really use this because I wasn't really needing it for the type of photography I was doing in the 2 weeks I had it. The lens also has fluorine coating and a moisture resistant construction, and that's a real bonus when it comes to weather resistance. The construction of the lens is very sturdy and felt really solid in the hand. Now it may not be the sharpest lens in the corners at wide open apertures, but if you want that type of image quality and performance, then you will have to look at something like more expensive prime lenses. I have seen this Tamron lens on special for as little as 1,600 Australian dollars. Now that's quite a significant difference in pricing when you compare that to say a 600mm prime lens, which starts new from around 15,000 Australian dollars. When it comes to cons on the lens, well, I found the lens hood just a little bit fiddly to put on at times. However, this is in no way a deal breaker, and the hood does the job it's meant to do, no problem. The lens sometimes lost focus while I was tracking birds in flight using back button focus, and also while using the touch screen on the back of the D850 in video mode. But I was able to reacquire focus pretty quickly and still get the still shot or video I was chasing by slightly adjusting the focus ring manually. Now to the reason why I wouldn't have bought this lens 2 years ago, but I would buy it today. 2 years ago, during the great pre-COVID days, I was traveling overseas literally every 6 months. And for that reason, I needed a travel kit which was relatively lightweight. Hence why I was using the Nikon 80-400mm telephoto lens, which was a nice compromise in weight and focal length for traveling. However, today with international travel here in Australia off the cards, bar New Zealand, it looks like we won't be able to go anywhere until the end of 2022 or 2023. So now I'm left with traveling within my own country, and I'm not complaining about that realistically. Australia is beautiful in so many ways that most of my traveling is now done via my car, and I'm able to travel with heavier gear setups. In fact, I can now take every bit of gear I own and not have to pick and choose what I can and can't take onto a plane, and not have to pay a small fortune for excess baggage. For that reason, if I was looking for a quality, budget telephoto lens right now, then this is the lens I'd be going for both my Nikon D850 and D750 cameras. So why would this lens suit me now? Well, firstly, while I love that 600mm focal length, a 600mm prime lens is way out of my budget. And it's just too heavy to carry around that type of lens all day on location, which is normally the case for me. Secondly, having the diverse focal range from 150mm to 600mm comes in really handy. There were times I really needed that 150mm because the subjects I was photographing were actually too close to me. Hello. Well, I don't think you can get much closer than that. I actually can't get a shot because he's within the 2.2 meters, but yeah, beautiful little bird. I needed that 150mm because getting a 1.5 crop in HD slow motion on the D850, the lens then became 225mm. I was able to capture some great moments with this lens. From the good fortune of being in the right place at the right time to snap an osprey going into an attack dive with a half crescent moon setting in the background. A seagull giving chase to a tern who had obviously stolen his breakfast. And yes, you can see he's pretty angry about that. To the microsecond, a little willy wagtail spreads its wings to take flight off of a branch. I just seemed to keep saying wow every time I fired off a shot and then reviewed it on the back of the D850. I had so much fun with this lens, and it's going to be a little bit hard to give back in all honesty. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope this review has helped you out in case you are looking at the possibility of buying this lens. As I always say, never stop creating, and I'll see you next time. Maybe I could hide it.